Thank you for joining us today. Today, I have as a industry expert and network resource that I provide to my network. I have Diego Garcia of MPC Workforce. We have been connected recently on our journey. He's going through a coaching program I went through in August of 22, and I've been honored to be part of his journey along the way. His energy and transformation has already been phenomenal. And I also wanted to add, I didn't tell you about this when we were just talking, but it was something that you learned recently. I'm throwing this at you about how you are part of that top 1% of people. Do you want to just briefly introduce yourself, say hello, and tell me a little bit about what that shift was for you about the mentality? Do you know what I'm talking about? When it was said that to live and be basically that person that you are in the being the top part of that top 1%. So Diego Garcia, MPC Workforce.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. So, yes, how do I make that shift to become the 1% was really interesting. So everything has to do with your mind. What you tell yourself, you know, how you talking to yourself is what the universe is going to give you. So you have to have a lot of confidence. A lot. You have to always say 10 affirmations. You have to understand that nothing is going to be easy, but if you have the courage to go out there, even though there's 100 doors closing in your face, you have to understand that you got to keep going. That's the only way you're going to cross that barrier.
So, and we just talked about that the key to your success right now, and like I said, I believe that's, being part of the mentality of being at the top 1% of people in income earners is what I'm talking about. But he already had what he needed. He just needed a guide to bring it out. His business is mind, power, consistency, workforce, and that's what that stands for. And what is required to live and be present and live the life he wants to is to have the mentality, the mind, the plan, and the action, which is the power and the consistency to do so. And this is just all unfolding today as we've talked and so I just wanted to share that. But yeah, he already had everything he need. He just had to learn and get a guide to bring it out and share the success of what you've done with your business. And we're going to talk about the clients you serve and what you do. But I just wanted to share that. He already had everything he needed, mind, power, consistency. That's the formula for success and like the shift that he has had over the past 5 weeks. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen, for that compliment. And that
Yes.
is true.
Awesome to be on the journey with you. So yeah, I share a featured guest expert in the different as a resource to people in my network. So we're going to talk about Diego Garcia and what he does. Basically, with your business, we're going to talk about the couple services you provide. What kinds of problems do you see with you work with like small business owners? Things like that. What kinds of problems do you see that you can help people with? What types of business owners are you working with, and what kind of problems do you see?
We can work with any size of companies, small, medium, or enterprises, because at the end of the day, the problems are almost the same or the same. Labor shortage and high turnover, inventory and management issues, challenging with system integration and challenges. These are common issues in warehouses, and they give you a sense of panic. So you get values from working for us, retention, assistance, productivity, quality, and efficiency. These five values will for sure fix those issues, fix those problems, those challenges that you have. Mm, I want to tell you a little bit about the logistical steps. You know, the supervisory oversight, the site evaluation, the system familiarization, the social onboarding, the orientation is key. Once we understand what you're going through, no matter the size, you just have to provide that tailored service that we got. And you're not going to find it anywhere else but with MPC.
So you work with warehouses and you help also hire and bring on staff or provide the teams that do that. Tell me a little bit about of some of the things that you do with you're integrating their tech, I believe you said, systems and processes. So tell us a little bit more about what you do when you work with warehouses so they are more organized, efficient, and productive.
Yes. So one of the things that whenever they have issues with retention, high turnovers, so we have a crew of people because our network is nationwide. So we'll bring a crew of people to support the live operation so we can continue hitting production, hitting our deadlines. Of course, they're already trained on safety. We do safety observations. We are able to run the operation smoothly while we work on your retention. Why are your people leaving? What are they hitting? Uh, what is it is keeping it away from them? What is the environment that they live in? Because we have to put attention in small details. So yes, we show them how to proper stack, how the proper orientation. We need to have a tailored orientation, that aligns with your company standards. Another thing is safety. So many companies don't pay attention to safety. They only care about hitting rates. We need to get the case out. So we tailor that. Hey, let's do 10 observations daily. Are they understanding your system? What is happening? So that's where we come and help and still run the operation with our team. So there's different ways of NPC helping you or helping, we have helped our companies, you know.
So is part of it also what you're saying that you train the employees that are working there to work with the staff properly so that they are understanding? So by doing that, like you said, proper orientation, safety, all of those things, are you working with the staff and training them on how to work with their team, or are you the one actually training the team?
It can go both ways.
Got it.
So I'll bring my staff that is already trained, that we've been all over the country, and we either shadow people, we bring new people and make them shadow, and they learn how to select the food. If it's in the food industry, we show them how to operate a machine if that's what they're doing. So we focus on that. The only way somebody's going to be successful, an associate is going to be successful, is if you align them with the best of your company. So if I have a 150% employee, then I need to align them with them so they can know the best. They can learn next to them.
Okay. So you work with warehouses of all different kinds, you said, all different sizes, all over the country.
That is correct.
And who are the contacts you're usually working with, if people were to be working with you at those warehouses? Who are the kind of people that you want to be connected with?
Director of operations, site managers, um, managers, GMs,
Those are the people who need your help for their industries.
senior VPs, C levels, C suites. Yes.
Okay. And then you also provide another piece to the service. So you work with teams, you work with the employees, you provide the staff, you do all of that. What is the other piece of some of the things you do with some of the warehouses you work, the other service you provide?
Yes. The other service is manufacturing services. This service is ideal for clients in manufacturing needing supplies like nitro gloves and shrink wrap. You get three values, that is really important for you and whoever hire us, that the values are there. Shipment on time, best global quality, and staff dedicated to that production line, which means to you. if you want me, I go over the four logistical steps, which is measurement identification. This way I understand what product are you using. Based on that, I'll give you a quote and delivery. Then we'll set up the vendor forms, the vendor setup. Then we go on a contract and product. I'll let you know every time you give me an order, what's going on with your order.
Okay. So the gloves and the plastic wrap, right?
Plastic wrap. Yes.
Awesome. Which
Small
is
products, but really short. Go for it.
very important because I've seen some of your social media content and I know really like nothing about warehouses. So it's interesting to learn like how important some of these things are. So he has really good content like on TikTok. Where else are you?
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook.
About safety, yes, about safety and things like that. And when you see it, it's like, oh, that's interesting. You just don't know all the things that go into you have to stack and wrap everything properly. So as
Yes.
an outsider, it's interesting to see those sorts of things, the details. So like all the value that you share there on your social media content as well.
Yes.
Tell us about one success story of a business you've worked with that maybe was losing a ton of money or time in this area. I know you said a lot of problems are staffing and retention, so I don't know if that's an example. But give us maybe an idea of how you've helped a company that had this problem, you helped solve the problem, and they either, saved a bunch of money or a bunch of time and energy.
Yes. One of I cannot say the name of the company, but
Whatever. One of the companies you worked with, maybe the
yes,
type of industry that it was.
uh, I went to this warehouse and they were having a safety issue. There was plenty of um, pallets on the what you call it. There's pallets on the way. There was pallets on the
Yeah.
doors. There was pallets on the aisles, and they couldn't keep up. They couldn't. They don't knew how to fix the issue, and it was really 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 simple. When you get somebody put in replenishment, when somebody's coming and put product in the location, what you need to do is, well, first of all, you need to take out the pallet, because if you just come and put the product on top of another pallet, that's double stacking. By the time somebody comes trying to put more product in there, then you're going to get the two pallets that were already there, and you're just gonna leave them there. That's a safety issue right away. That is an accident ready to happen. So of course, efficiency wasn't there. They were taking forever to get out of those aisles, and it was really on safety. Did perform, took everything out, made sure I trained the forklift drivers, cut the plastic first, put it on your forklift. There's a trash can at the middle of the aisle, and remove and make sure you put those pallets back on the little the little warehouse. There's always a small warehouse where you put all this wood, this chips, and they were like, "Wow, it's all about implementation, taking action." And they save a lot of time. I think that we were at, I'll say, 700 hours, and we brought it down to like 580, if I'm not
There you go.
mistaken. So we reduce on safety hazards, reduce the accidents and performance. We were able to make it faster.
All time and money. Perfect
Yes.
example.
It was a
Awesome.
great ROI.
Awesome. So yeah, Diego and MPC Workforce are doing this all over the country. Do you work outside of the US at all, just out of curiosity, or just in the US?
Just US,
US
nationwide,
businesses?
just the
Okay,
US.
that's what I thought. I was just making sure. Yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to add about what you're doing with your business or who you can help?
Well, I can help anybody in this industry, and I guess just keep working hard and have integrity, be transparent, and always help, assist your client.
Awesome. And Diego is a great resource for anyone in small businesses, warehouses, logistics in those industries that could use better safety, better productivity, better retention, and supplies if needed. So thank you for joining us today. Please connect with Diego on all social media platforms with MPC Workforce. I'll have a link to his calendar in the description below. And look out for his social media content on his profiles. As I said, he's got really great value there. So yeah, Diego Garcia is my June network expert and industry resource. I just put these out usually once a month on my YouTube channel, so connect with me everywhere as well. Jen Carpenter, Secure and Savvy Solutions on all social media platforms as well. And stay tuned for the next guest that I have in the month of July. So thank you again, Diego, for joining me today. Happy to be
Thank
on
you
the
again
journey
for
with
having.
you.
Thank you, Jen, for having me here.
You're welcome.